Alright, you got it?
No.
Oh god, here it's gonna be fun anyway. So let's see. This is what, Wednesday, May 29th, and I'm gonna try to get this video out as fast as possible. Shit, we're not even drinking. But
No, we're not. And I can't get into mine.
so let's see. I grabbed a bottle. Check this out. This is new, fresh out the freezer. New vodka from Texas. Because they say vodka is supposed to be healthier for you, and I'm lying to myself, but
you're fucking lying to yourself.
yeah, so we're doing our Hot D. An entire binge of House of the Dragon Season 1 because I'm trying to get this video out for House of Dragon Season 2, which we did record a year ago, and I noticed that, looking back in some footage, that I've gotten a lot better in the past year, or
no, you haven't!
a lot worse, depending on who you ask. But let's see, we got, you give me a stupid Tyrion cup. It says, I drink, I drink and I know things from Tyrion. What do you got?
Arya. Not
Arya,
today.
yeah. Now, the whole premise is like, even I haven't watched House of Dragon in a year because I forget things because I'm stupid. And you've, yeah.
Sick burn.
Shut up!
You've watched what? Or you've read the books like an unhealthy amount of times?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Nerd!
Let's see, what
So I'm here basically to be like his, like, go-to person.
Is it Arbor Mist?
Arbor Mist, Red Moscato.
Yeah. Well, if you're gonna watch 10 episodes of a TV show, why not have a whole bottle of wine and a whole bottle of vodka? Plus, we gotta see what. We grab Doritos. Let's see, Doritos, Cheez-Its. We got soda down here.
Well, bye-bye belt.
But now the premise, like, I've done 2 solo Drunken reviews, which actually got pretty good feedback, and you're my first guest for a tag team review.
Do you not hear how creepy that sounds?
A show that has, I forgot, are we first or second cousins?
Third.
Third cousins? Jesus. Yeah, so it's funny, cousins watching a show about incest, and
They call it kissing cousins.
We're not kissing, that's the point.
it was it uncles fucking their nieces, and I mean, it is, but
It's disgusting.
yeah, this is gonna be fun to review.
That's like this meme I saw one time where it was like when Game of Thrones first started and you saw Jaime and Cersei fucking each other. It's like, ew, incest. But then when you saw Jon and Dany fucking as it's being explained that they're related to one another, it's like, woohoo, incest.
Well, the premise is going to be, it says show on my computer screen. It's hard to see with the angle, but I got a nice OLED TV in 4K, so we're going to be watching all 10 episodes. Yeah, open mind. All 10 episodes in a row of House of Dragon, and the premise is, we don't have time. I don't have time to sit there and do like a 10-minute breakdown or 20-minute breakdown of the entire, season in each episode. So it's going to be episode 1, 5-minute recap. Episode 2, 5-minute recap. And again, this is 10 episodes. It's going to be it's gonna be a long freaking day. Also, you're gonna see us progressively getting more fucking drunk.
Yep.
And figure it's 9 o'clock in the morning.
We'll pace ourselves.
Yeah.
Don't worry. That's why we have the soda.
It's 9 o'clock in the morning too. It's like you shouldn't be drinking. Like, well, it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah, it is.
And hopefully, of course, by the end, by episode 10, we should both be like, fuck it, this is a great show. And Patty Constantine, Dragon, Yeah, no, I'll probably polish this whole fucking thing off, but
I have a problem with alcohol and I need help.
and just
surprisingly, the fact that he remembers Patty Constantine out of all of the freaking characters, because he calls Daemon Targaryen Matt Damon.
Of course, Matt Damon. And
Matt Damon.
yeah, so that's pretty much all we can say for right now. And like I said, it's just gonna be, I'm gonna edit this as fast as possible. My editing skills the past year have gotten 10,000 times better and faster than I did last time. And just said my presentation being on camera, I've been on camera a lot more now the past year, obviously, than a year ago. But you're used to it's for you. It's just a big fun. It's a hobby. But I've also got more subscribers too, and more people may see this. I just want to have a good timing for putting out for season 2. Which, when season 2 does come out, we're going to be doing a weekly recap because I'll have more time and just
stay tuned for that, guys.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I said with the way things have been with my busy work schedule, and on top of I met other YouTubers, I'll give them shout outs from like my buddy Lance to this guy Gord King and people like that. And
Start the movie.
So we're gonna start episode 1. These are like what 10 1-hour episodes. It's actually
something like that.
Aren't some like an hour and 15 or some shit like?
Some might be even less than that though too.
Oh God.
Depending.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So at the halfway mark, we'll probably get like a fucking pizza or something because we're gonna be pretty damn hammered by episode 5. Like.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I'll hit this the magic stop button, and for you it'll be 10 seconds. For us, it's gonna be an hour, and we're gonna be pretty. It's gonna be catching up to us fast.
And don't worry, guys, I am here specifically as your Game of Thrones nerd.
Yeah, I know. That's a good thing is because, you have no friends.
She has no friends.
I have more friends than you.
I mean, all my friends are online, which aren't my real friends.
At least mine are in person.
Mm-hmm.
She's a grade A bitch.
There we go.
All right, so we hit the stop button, and yeah, let's start House of Hot D.
House of the Dragon.
Yeah, wieners. I'm gonna show that song too. It's like wiener, floppy wiener. Anyway, let's go.
Wiener, 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 wiener.
Okay, we made it. What's episode 1 called? I don't know.
Episode 1 is called The Pilot.
Sure, let's go with that. Yeah. I mean, God. It's
Or
like,
Heir to the Iron Throne.
yeah. Watching this again with you, this is one of them episodes where, guys, I can see people doing like a friggin' 2-hour podcast on episode 1.
Oh.
We don't have the time, so it's basically a quick recap, and I'll just give my thoughts, and then I do want to hear your thoughts as somebody who's read the books. But the show starts off, and they happen to show that crawl right there, and of course they happen to mention Daenerys Targaryen because everybody remembers that name, right? And this is 200 years before Game of Thrones? That's the premise of this show? 173 or something?
172 years before the birth of Daenerys and the death of the Mad King.
Yeah, and the first thing we see off the bat is we have excellent CGI, for a TV show from HBO. And our character, Rhaenyra, she's riding a gold dragon, is it?
Yep.
Yeah, it's a gold
Sorry.
dragon. And later on, too, I'll show a picture. We do get to see a red dragon as well.
Caraxes.
What I basically got from episode 1, and you can correct me or just give your piece, whatever you want to say, but basically we have King Viserys. He was given the throne by his father because Grandfather, okay, see? That's why you're here for. But he was given the throne, and he has his daughter, Rhaenyra, and he's waiting for... Rhaenyra, see? And he wants to have a male heir, because the bottom line is he has daughters, and women suck and men are better. So that's basically the whole point of Game of Thrones.
You're an asshole.
And, to their credit, guys, we know it's makeup job, and it's excellent, but his wife is pregnant, and in this episode, holy shit, this is my third time watching this with you. It's not easy to watch, but we have a stillborn scene, and kudos on the actress who plays his wife, man.
It's not really stillborn. It's...
Oh, yeah.
It's emergency C-section.
We get a C-section. Boy, it's fucking brutal watching a C-section.
And the actress.
What the main characters are Viserys, his daughter, Alicent, and of course some people would say the fan favorite of the season, but episode 1 owns, hands down, is Matt Smith, who plays Daemon Targaryen. Which, to me, just saying Matt Damon's easier, because Matt Damon.
Matt Damon!
I mean, I've only had this much, so I haven't got that drunk yet. It just comes down to, say, King Viserys.
And Otto Hightower, you forgot.
Yes, well, yeah, there's a lot to break down, but the whole premise of House of the Dragon is what the rise, when we get to Game of Thrones, all the dragons are dead, which is why Daenerys...
This show is basically the destruction of the dragons.
Yeah, because when we get to Game of Thrones, Daenerys, the dragons are all dead except for her dragon eggs, and this is at some point why were these Targaryen people so powerful for, and what happened to them? So yeah, King Viserys, Paddy Constantine, excellent episode. There's a tournament that goes on. There's so much more to unpack than that, but that's the gist of it, because we're just doing a brief recap. But as I'm going to keep asking you every episode, so as somebody who's read that book to death, and what is the premise of House of Dragon? Because the books aren't called House of Dragon, right?
So the main series is called A Song of Ice and Fire, and that has a Game of Thrones, a Storm of Swords, a Clash of Kings.
Okay.
Well, a Clash of Kings, a Storm of Swords, a Feast for Crows, and a Dance with Dragons.
Nerd.
But those books are about the main series, what Game of Thrones is based off of. This is basically a history of House Targaryen. The show itself is based off of what brought the death of the dragons to be.
Yeah.
But the history of it is there's this book, it's called Fire and Blood. And so far there's one book out, plus there are 2 side stories. They're little prequel stories. The Rogue Prince and the Princess and the Queen.
Okay, and of course the Rogue Prince is Daemon, right?
The Rogue Prince is based off of the life and times of Prince Daemon Targaryen.
Matt Smith.
And it starts from the time when he was a small child to ending when his grandfather passes away and his brother ascends to the Iron Throne.
Enough, you idiot! Shorten this stupid story to 20 words or less!
I'm already lost, but yeah, so...
Well, not really when his brother ascends to the Iron Throne, but his brother's death as well.
Make it stop, please! Make it stop!
We often talk about adaptations, but I mean, as I said, small changes are made. We'll get into that more as we keep watching the rest of the 9 episodes. But how was episode 1 from the book? Is it good? Is it bad?
So, obviously there are some small changes, and any small change sometimes does take on a bigger precedent later on in the series, which I'll get more into as we talk. But so far so good. I mean, they raised the age of Rhaenyra, lowered the age of Alicent. They've done so many other things that we'll get into. But for the most part, if you don't read the books, it's not that big a deal to you. If you have read the books, you'll sit there and you'll pick apart every single little thing that has happened, which a lot of YouTubers wind up doing because they are fans and they have read the books, be it Game of Thrones, the prequels, the short stories, the novellas, anything.
Yeah. My friend Wes, who's Lord Toxic, when I watched Reacher season 1 and season 2 with him, this guy's read Reacher as much as she's read House of Dragon. And as a book fan, he says, dude, I'm smart enough to understand the fact that an adaptation is never page by page copy onto screen. He's fine as a book fan for the changes to Reacher, both seasons of the TV show. There's people out there, some people say Lord of the Rings is the greatest trilogy of all time. There's some book purists who hate that trilogy. Some book fans love that trilogy. It just comes down to, as a book fan, what you're willing to accept. But also, remember, it's an adaptation.
It happens with everything, be it Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Any book out there, if you're going to get a backlash from the audience in some way, shape, or form, you're also going to get praise from the audience in some way, shape, or form. Yeah. Because, for example, your mom, not the biggest book reader, but she'll watch a movie all day, every day. And if it's something based off a book, she'll love it. But if we've read the book and we're like, yeah, but this happened in the book, she'll be like, I don't care.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with this.
Okay, let's wrap this up.
It's 10 o'clock in the morning. You're drinking wine. I'm drinking vodka. It's gonna be a long fucking day. But hey, hopefully we have fun. I'm already feeling this vodka and cranberry juice. It catches up on you. Yeah, we'll get into episode 2, and then that's it. You all set?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
All right, next episode.
All right, cool. You're pouring your gay wine. Yeah.
We're calling it that.
So, what's episode 2 called? The Rogue Prince.
The Rogue Prince.
Got some more vodka. Yeah. So we have a little time jump. 6 months goes by, and Prince Matt Damon's being a douchebag, and he fucking took over Dragonstone, right?
Took over Dragonstone.
Yeah. And basically, what I got from this episode is good old King Viserys. He's a older man now. You know this from the book. Paddy Constantine is 50 years old, but isn't his character 35 or something?
Yeah, he's in his 30s.
Yeah. So his cousin, what's his cousin's name?
Rhaenys.
Now she's the queen that shouldn't be queen, or
the queen who never was.
Okay, yeah. Well, her and her husband Corlys want him to marry their daughter, which is kind of creepy because it's
Lena.
It's like you asking me to marry your kid.
Ew.
Yeah. Well, it's Game of Thrones for you. But the whole juxtaposition is that their daughter's 12 years old, and the guy's looking 50, and but it's Game of Thrones for you. Now it comes down to the character of Otto, who's the Hand of the King, played by the Lizard from Spider-Man, Ray Fiennes.
Xenophilius Lovegood from Harry Potter.
There you go, yeah. But he wants Alicent to get married to Viserys.
Yep.
And of course we do have
very good.
See, I'm getting there.
That's a good boy. Good boy.
And we do have a really kick-ass scene which we see Dragonstone, and Otto goes to see Daemon, and we get to see yet again the kick-ass dragon. So what's the red dragon?
So Daemon's dragon is named Caraxes.
It's got that big long neck.
Yep. Its nickname is the Bloodworm.
It looks like a red worm. So of course, before a big battle breaks out, because Daemon's being a douchebag, his niece shows up and she has the golden dragon.
Yep.
And she's
Cyrex.
Essentially, Uncle, you're not gonna fuck with me. And he stole her baby brother's egg because after episode 1, the baby, he was born, but he died after 10 seconds.
Yeah. He was there for a day.
Yeah.
He died after a day.
So Daemon stole the baby dragon egg, and we do see a small thing with Viserys. He slowly, after episode 1, he cut his hand on the Iron Throne, and he slowly, now his pinky's all blackened and shit, and you're starting to see he's starting to slowly fall apart.
It's gaining rot. It's he's He's slowly, like, disintegrating.
He's falling apart. Yeah, it's not. And it definitely plays into the show as the season progresses.
Don't
But,
forget, there's also a new member of the Kingsguard
Mhm.
as well, named
Right.
Sir Crispin Cole.
yeah. In this show, they say Sir with the captions on SER. I guess it's part of knighthood or
Mhm.
something. So just small details like that. But yeah, I mean, obviously a lot more to unpack. But that's the gist of it, is that, King Viserys has to make a decision. At the end, he decides to marry Alicent Hightower. He marries Alicent Hightower, and that pisses Corlys off, and Corlys is not happy about that.
Pisses Rhaenyra off as well.
That's pretty much the gist of the episode, right? As a book nerd, anything, was it a good episode?
It was a good episode. You forgot the part where after Corlys got pissed off, he met with Daemon.
And decided to join forces against Crab. Oh, yeah, we finally got to see Crabman, too.
Crab Theater.
Yeah, and this guy has a really messed up way of killing his victims. Like, imagine being eaten alive by crabs. Like,
Oh.
that's a bad way to die. Jesus,
They
man.
have crabs.
Yeah, I mean, crabs, it's before days of penicillin, right? Yeah. That's pretty much it for episode 2, The Rogue Prince.
There's also a little moment between Rhaenys and Rhaenyra where Rhaenys is basically telling Rhaenyra, hey, fuck you, like, guess what? You're not gonna be the freaking, like, heir to the Iron Throne because the freaking realm doesn't want women in power. And your father's not a fool, even though he is.
Yeah. But also, I mean, who wants women in power? Like, anyway, so, I don't. Yeah, so we'll get to episode 3, and yeah, I'm gonna keep drinking. You got your gay wine, I got my gay vodka, and
This sounds very gay.
get to episode 3. All set?
Also,
Alright, cool.
Episode 3.
Okay, we're back. So that was episode 3.
Yep.
Second of his name, and switch over to Sprite and still some more good old vodka. And you're still drinking your wine.
well,
God,
right now I'm at Pepsi.
Jesus Christ.
Fucking my wife.
An interesting episode. I can find it. The footage. We're off the bat. Damon. He's fighting off against Crabman.
Crab Theater.
And you got this poor guy. He's tied to a stake. He's looking up like, Damon's gonna save me, my lord and master. And Damon steps on him with the dragon.
Yep.
What an asshole. Jesus Christ, dude. Well, we have another time jump. It's been, 3 years?
Yeah.
It's been 3 years. And finally, Viserys, he got what he wanted all along. Finally got a son, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and it's cool because, everyone knows that men are so much better than women. And
I hate you.
so he got a son, and his now wife, Alicent, she's 18 years old,
Yep.
and she's pregnant again.
With
So-
their second child.
Yeah, so little Rhaenyra, she's not too happy, but essentially comes down to she has to eventually get married because now it's been a few years. So what is Rhaenyra's age in the show? Right now?
17.
Okay, so 17, and eventually she's going to make him a grandfather. And it's kind of creepy the fact that Alicent's like 18 years old and she's giving birth to her second kid, and her husband's like 40 years old, but that's whatever.
He's still in his 30s.
Details matter.
And then we have, let's see, of course, Paddy Constantine, or Viserys. He's drinking an awful lot of wine.
Oh, yeah.
He's getting really fucking drunk. And
Well,
it's
this
a
is
pretty
something
funny
that they
scene.
touch on to begin with in the books. Well, in the book, is after the death of Emma, Rhaenyra becomes a cupbearer. Like, they made it very early on in the series that she's cupbearer to the Small Council. But in the history of it in Fire and Blood, as well as in the Rogue Prince and whatever, Rhaenyra becomes his cupbearer after her mother's death, so
Yeah.
that she's around like the small council meetings. And it said you rarely see the king without the princess far behind, meaning he's drinking heavily after his wife's death.
Yeah.
And they bring that up in the show very prominently due to the fact that Emma died, he's depressed. Yes, he had to remarry. Yes, now he has a son. Yes, he still has Rhaenyra, but he's still highly upset over how Emma died.
I mean, I like the fact that, he's drunk, he's having fun. I hate the fact that he's drinking wine because, what little bitch drinks wine and gets drunk. But,
I will stab you in the neck with a knife.
other than that, there's some symbolism with a white stag. And he wants to just he kills a stag because, whenever it's your son's birthday, what a better way to celebrate your kid's birthday by killing a wild animal and brutally murdering a deer. Sure. And of course, we do get a scene with Rhaenyra. She stabs a pig to death and she's covered in blood and she's all hot and sexy for Kristen Cole.
Yep.
I'm still getting names right.
Sir Crispin.
Yeah. So we get back to Daemon. So basically, Daemon versus Crabman. He's losing the war because the stones there. What's it called?
So the
Damon's,
battle is on the stepstones.
yeah, stepstones, and Damon's fighting with his dragon, but
Yep.
with the caves, the crab guy keeps going
Crab
back.
Peter.
He keeps going back into the caves. So Corlys shows up and dude.
It's not Corlys, it's his brother Vaemond.
Well, Corlys is there too.
Corlys is there, but Corlys is on his side.
They're losing this war and they're probably not going to win. And Viserys at this point has been very hesitant to send help to his brother. He finally sends help to his brother. And instead of Daemon being all happy about that, he gets pretty pissed off.
Because, and you have to see Daemon's point of view, they could have entered the war efforts early on and backed Corlys and Daemon and been like, yeah, you know what? The realm is in your debt. Like, if you want our help, we're here. But he waited literally until they needed them. And that, in some sense, you have to see Daemon's point of view. It's like, we've needed you all along, but now that we're losing, now you want to come in and you want to, play the part of hero.
Yeah, Daemon's pissed off. What does he do? He's there for two things. He's there to kick ass and chew bubblegum.
And he's all out of bubblegum.
I understood that reference.
Yep. So Daemon does a last-ditch effort. He rides in solo, fucking waving a white flag like a bitch, but it's also a big deception because he fucking lures the crab guy out and goes into a big, massive battle sequence. What happens then? Corlys' son is riding a dragon.
Laenor is on his dragon Sea Smoke.
Yeah, Sea Smoke. And he comes in, saves the day, and of course, having a dragon against archers, dragons wiping guys out.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very big, epic battle sequence. Daemon kills the crab guy. And that's the end of the episode. So, pretty good. Great episode. In the beginning and the end, a lot of action. Half the episode is more politics, more stuff with Viserys and his daughter Rhaenyra, and just being king. And
but Viserys did make one very valid point because so many people keep coming to him asking for Rhaenyra's hand. Rhaenyra's totally against these freaking suitors. He gives her the option at the end after solidifying to her. He's like, "No, you're my heir. I didn't decide this on a whim.
Yeah.
I didn't decide this just to appease the realm." He's like, "I decided this because you're my child, and I want you to."
Also, you see, his fingers. He's lost two fingers.
Yep.
So here we go. 2 fingers are gone, and you slowly see this is going to lead into later on in the season that he's slowly falling apart.
His hand basically looks like
this.
It's
the fact that 2 of his hand fingers, whatever. I'm drunk, but
yeah.
Okay, let's wrap this up.
And to my knowledge, only 2 more to go with the current cast.
Let me explain.
Oh, will you fucking stop?
This is one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah, so we'll get into that in a minute, but you all set?
Yes, sir.
All right, so next episode, and see you later.
And now, episode 4.
All right, episode 4, what's it? King of the Narrow Sea?
Yep.
Yeah. What's this all about? It's about an uncle screwing his niece. And that's what I took out of it, but yeah.
I don't want to be here anymore.
So yeah, everybody's happy because Daemon killed the crab man. Yeah.
Basically, Daemon comes back from the Stepstones with a crown. He's known as the King of the Narrow Sea.
Yep.
He gives the crown to Viserys, basically tells him, look, dude, you're my brother, you're my king. I don't want it. Here you go.
Some really good acting with Patty and Matt Reeves because, at the end of the day, Daemon can be a douche. That's Matt, yeah, Matt Damon. Oh. But, Daemon can be a douchebag, but he loves his brother, and, they make up. They haven't seen each other in, going on 3 or 4 years now?
4, almost 5.
Yeah.
Because even when they had the bridge scene, Rhaenyra's the one who went, not him.
So we have a big celebration, and then, Daemon, he really missed his niece.
Very.
Yeah. And they spent some time at a brothel, and we don't see anything. They do some light kissing, and they're about to. His niece, she wants to do the deed, but Daemon just I guess he can't get it up in time. So yeah, Rhaenyra, she goes back, and she wants something, so her and Kristen Cole they want doing a deed. Yeah, and we get some more good scenes with Viserys.
Yep.
Viserys and his wife, and then he finally goes off on Otto because he realizes the fact that Otto, instead of being a good hand to the king, he's just he cares about one thing, power and only power, and he's basically using his bullshit getting to the fucking throne. And
one thing that Viserys brings up is his father before Otto was the hand of the king. His father died, and it took 5 days for all that to occur, with his father being named hand of the king, to him dying on a hunt, to Otto be replacing him. And Otto served his grandfather before serving him. And then, as the years progress, Obviously, he never had a son with his first wife, the woman he loved.
Yeah.
He only had Rhaenyra. Therefore, his main focus is Rhaenyra's going to be the one to take the throne.
Yeah.
She is my first child. She is the daughter of the woman I love. She is going to be queen, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
Otto being self-serving, he's the second most powerful person in the realm. He married his daughter to the king, and now his grandson is the firstborn son of said king. So he feels that it serves a precedent that his grandson should be the one to supplement as king after his father's death.
Viserys confronts his brother and basically gives him the boot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He basically tells Daemon, like, did you do it? And Daemon's not going to deny it, and Daemon's not going to admit it. Due to the fact that no matter what he says, in his mind, Viserys is always going to believe that Daemon is a terrible person.
Yeah, which he is. But
he is, but he isn't.
Yeah, that's it. We get some storyline between Daemon and his brother. Is it how many more episodes before we get a time jump? Because at some point we do get a time jump with these characters.
So the next coming episode is the last episode for the characters who play Rhaenyra and Alicent at this point in time. So Millie Alcock, who plays Rhaenyra, is going to be eventually replaced by Emma Darcy. And
how do you know that? But
how do I know it?
Nerd.
I know these things.
I don't.
And Emily, I forgot her last name, is going to be replaced in playing Alicent.
Yeah.
So
episode 5, we're halfway done, and we get to see our goodbye episode to some actresses, and then get to the new actresses.
In episode 6.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anything else?
Not much.
Yeah.
Well, there is one thing. So,
I fucking hate you.
If you haven't noticed, anyone who's ever watched Game of Thrones,
losers.
There's a certain area in the castle that keeps being brought to where everyone's going at different points, be it the Godswood. The Godswood was never a thing in Game of Thrones. No one ever went there in King's Landing, only in Winterfell. Because the Heart Tree, Weirwood, all that is about the old gods.
Yeah.
Alicent and her father, they're from Old Town. Old Town is very, involved with the Sept, the Faith of the Seven. The Targaryens, they have a different method of gods that they believe in.
My will to live meter is flatlining, okay?
Former kings and future kings are going to be very involved in the Faith of the Seven and trying to appease them. Rhaenyra, Daemon, even Viserys to some degree, they are not so much like that.
Yeah.
Why does she hate me?
It's just they keep showing everyone, including Alicent Hightower, standing in front of the Heart Tree, and it's a little weird.
Cool.
Because it's something that they don't normally do.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll get some more vodka, some more gay wine, and onward to episode 5.
Yeah.
All right. See you later.
All right.
5 entire episodes.
All right, guys.
All right, right there. Episode 5 is We Light the Way, and yeah, it's let's see, halfway over, and I'm halfway through this bottle of vodka, but yeah, dear God, well, wine's it's a woman's drink, but
anyway. Fuck you,
asshole. What's on with this episode? What's going on with this episode?
All right, so this episode begins with
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
He kills his wife, you bastard.
He kills his wife,
and she gets her back broken, her neck broken. And he takes a big ass rock.
Okay, so technically though, it wasn't completely his fault. He spooked the horse.
Bullshit.
So the horse really killed her.
And he just finished the job.
And he just put her out of her misery.
Yep. And that's pretty much all the action you get this entire episode.
Except for that end scene.
Yeah, which we'll get into. Rhaenyra and Viserys are going to see Corlys, which, okay, we're in episode 5. Let's just get it real quick. Just talk for a minute. The actor playing Corlys is awesome. It was pretty stupid by the showrunners when this came out. I'll try to find the article if I can show it on YouTube. But, say, guys, we're going to hire the best actor for the job. Don't say stupid shit like the guy was white in the books and we hired a black actor because we didn't want too many Caucasians on screen. It's pretty fucking stupid. Simple as that.
My biggest issue, and I said this to you in the past, and I said it to your sister in the past. I don't care about the whole, swap of race or anything along those lines as much as I do if they swap him. There's another set of characters that they swap the race of as well.
Yeah.
to keep with the fact that certain aspects of it are a little too obvious.
So Viserys wants to have a union between his daughter and Corlys' son, and of course his son.
Rhaenyra goes from being an uncle fucker to a cousin fucker.
Yeah, his son is he's in the guys.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it in that aspect. And we have a big, huge wedding sequence.
So everyone shows up to this.
Yeah.
We have the Lannisters.
The big wedding.
We have Hightowers.
Yep.
The Velaryons come in with basically Corlys, Rhaenys,
Yeah.
Corlys' brother, their daughter, and Laenor, and their household guard. After they enter, so does good old Uncle Daemon.
Yeah, Daemon shows up after he's been banned, by the way.
Daemon was banned and sent to the Vale to live out the rest of his days with his wife.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Daemon's wife died tragically.
Now he's a widower.
Yeah.
But and then Alicent in a big statement during this big wedding ceremony between Rhaenyra and Corlys' son.
Laenor.
Okay, Laenor. She shows up and she's wearing this big green dress, and when she wears a big green dress, it's all about war now.
Yeah.
And yeah, and
So it's said among the characters of Harwin Strong and Laurie Strong, who are brothers, and their father is now Hand of the King. Their father's name is Lionel. One, she interrupts the king's speech. Two, she walks in wearing the green dress. Laurice explains to Harwin, he's like, when Old Town goes to war, what is the color of the fire at the top of the beacon?
The green arrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then of course what happens is Corlys' son, him and his boyfriend, he notices that was a Kristen Cole.
Yep.
He's looking over at Rhaenyra and like pissed off that my would-be kind of girlfriend's gonna marry to a gay guy.
Yep.
And what happens? They get into a big fight and he beats the guy to death in the middle of a fucking ceremony.
In all fairness, he gave himself away. But early on in the episode, he did try to say to Rhaenyra, he's like, we should run away together. But who the hell is going to give up the Iron Throne to be with Kristen Cole?
Yeah. And there's a little quick scene
He
between...
ain't that hot.
There's a little quick scene between Daemon and his niece, and he's like, you know, your husband's a douchebag, and you're going to get bored of him. But she's like, well, why don't you marry me instead?
He doesn't call him a douchebag. He's like, he's a good guy, but he's kind of boring.
Is he a douchebag?
He's like, he wants dick, you want dick. That doesn't work.
Your husband wants it, yeah.
For he's a jolly gay homo, for he's a jolly gay homo.
Too many dicks. But
Well, that's why the song's called Wieners, Wiener Wieners.
I'll pull that up. And that's pretty much it. Then we have the wedding between Rhaenyra and her gay husband.
Laenor.
Yep. And
the king collapses.
Yeah. His whole arm is just like all torn apart and shit. Just
He is slowly deteriorating throughout the series.
Viserys, every episode, he's just getting worse and worse. And you feel so bad for the guy, and just great acting job on Paddy Constantine for just looking like all torn apart. And
especially because it's bad enough he's king. He has a lot he has to deal with there between his wife and his daughter and his subjects and his small council. And he's deteriorating in every possible way.
All right, so that's the halfway mark. We have 5 more to go, and that's the official end of the younger actresses, right?
Yep.
So
no more young Rhaenyra, no more young Alicent.
Yeah. 5 more episodes to go. We'll get to a time jump, and yeah.
Woo!
Yeah. All right, here we go.
We'd like to go right into 6 episodes.
Okay, so episode 6, the princess and the frog.
The queen.
I mean, she's wearing a green dress. She could be a frog. Anyway. Yes, we get our official big time jump. What's it been? So 10 years?
10 years.
10 years. And now we get a very different actress playing Rhaenyra. And she's, she's off the bat giving birth. And I'm like, here we go. But her mother, Queen Alicent, is a stepmother. She's a total friggin' bitch. And poor Rhaenyra has to do the walk of shame, and show her new baby to her evil stepmother.
So here's the thing. It wasn't so much the fact that she requested Rhaenyra. She requested the baby. And there's a reason for that.
Yeah, because, it's been some time over the past 10 years, and, well, let's be honest, her husband is kind of into guys, so he's not getting her pregnant, and Alicent wants to see the baby.
To prove, once again, that another child is born to Rhaenyra that is not its father's child.
Which I guess, like you said, sometimes when a baby is born, they're kind of like light-complected. Well, consider her husband's a black dude with white hair, and the kids look nothing like him.
Here's the thing, though, too. It's not so much just the fact that her husband's a black dude. He's half and half. So their kids, technically, upon birth, should be born with a light complexion. The thing is, their kids are all dark-haired.
Yep.
And they both have platinum blonde hair.
Yeah. So we get to good old Viserys and the king himself, and we've seen in previous episodes he was losing fingers. Now entire fucking arm is missing, and the guy Yeah, he's definitely older, and he's got like more. His hair is like all disheveled, and he's I mean, I still said for a person that's dying, it's been another decade. He's not doing good, but it's been a decade. He's not dead yet.
Since the death of Emma, it's been about 14 years.
Yeah, I mean, he's not doing
Almost
well.
15?
It's not doing well, but it's not like he had like a 6-month death sentence. He's still going. Well, we get to Damon, and Damon got his wishes, and he's got a new wife now. He's got a hot older black wife, which is
Damon married Elena Valarian,
which is Corlys's daughter, right?
which is Corlys's daughter, who they initially wanted to marry Viserys.
Yeah,
But
they got some kids.
they have twin daughters, Bela and Rhaena. Bela is a dragon rider. Her dragon's name is Moondancer. And Rhaena has yet to claim a dragon due to the fact that her dragon egg never hatched.
And we have a bunch of new kids now because Rhaenyra has new children.
As does Alicent.
Yeah.
So Alicent's children are Aegon, who was about 2 years old in the third episode.
Yeah, I'll look this up later.
Helena, who was about a year old in the fourth episode.
Yeah. All Alicent's kids have white hair, and all of Rhaenyra's kids have black hair.
Yep.
There you go. See, it's even an idiot like me can understand this.
So here's the thing that's fucked up. Now, Alicent has dark hair, but all her kids have light hair.
Yeah.
Rhaenyra's got light hair.
All her kids have black hair.
All her kids have dark hair.
So definitely,
So it's a little bit fucked up that all of Rhaenyra's kids keep coming out with dark hair, when it's proven that if you have dark hair, you can have a light-haired kid.
Yeah.
If the other parent has light hair.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's another what some people would call maybe a filler episode. Not a lot. I mean, actually, action-wise, nothing really goes on. We still have Viserys. He has his ring. He's still mourning I mean, his wife's been gone for 15 years now. Yep. He still misses his first wife. And of course, poor old Damon, his new wife, she's about to give birth to a baby. And almost like retrospect to episode 1, his wife is about to die in childbirth. And as you pointed out, the difference is he actually asks the maesters there, well, if you want to do a C-section, is my wife going to survive? And they're like, well, probably not. So what does she do? She does this very slow walk, goes to her dragon, and she has this massive fucking dragon. What's the name of it?
Vhagar.
And of course she says the whole Dracarys, and she wants to die because she knows her baby's not going to make it, she won't live anymore. And it's kind of cool. I mean, it's CGI, it's a dragon. Her dragon's like, I don't want to kill you, buddy. You're my friend. And in the end, though, the dragon blows fire. Daemon,
right in front of Daemon, because Daemon's walking out to get her as that's happening.
And Daemon's now a widow, and that's pretty much it. Oh, at the end, was it Rhaenyra? She takes her and her kids, her bastard kids, and she moves into Dragonstone?
Yes. She claims her ancestral seat, which is actually her seat to begin with, which was brought up in the second episode with Daemon holding that seat, but it wasn't his, it's actually Rhaenyra's. Her, Laenor, their children, his lover, and their household guard all moved to Dragonstone.
Let's see, the crippled dude, he sets fire and he kills the hand of the king, and he kills the son.
Lionel and Harwin.
And killed the son. Yep. More betrayal. So now we get the sense that Otto should be coming back soon.
Okay, let's wrap this up.
Anything else?
Yeah, that's about it.
Cool. All right. So next episode.
Anyone who does not understand where we're going with that, though,
for fuck's sake,
the reason why Harwin and Lionel were killed due to the fact that Rhaenyra's children, Jace, Luke, and Joffrey, are all actually Harwin's children. This is where also, though,
I'm already lost.
We were going to talk about this at one point about why I was saying if they were going to make the Valarians black.
That's racist.
They should have done the same thing with the Strongs. Here's why.
Nothing lasts forever.
In the book, it is said that Rhaenyra's children bear a resemblance to Harwin Strong.
Was it that obvious?
But the thing of it is, it's not proven. It's not a full-on proof. Because in the book, Rhaenys actually has dark hair.
Okay.
Now it's not fun anymore.
In the show, she's platinum blonde like all the other Targaryens. But in the histories of the book, she is actually dark-haired like her Baratheon father.
Oh.
Stop! He's already dead!
So when Laenor's children are actually born, it is believed that by some, specifically, like, ones who want to progress their station that Lanier's kids are actually bastards. But believed by a lot of people who are just like, you know what, it doesn't make a difference. Look at their grandmother.
Mm.
It shows that it's very well a possibility that even though Lanor might like men, he might be bisexual. It's not a given, like, thing.
Yeah.
Fully that Lanor is gay. They go with it in the show, but it's the fact of his children very well could be his children.
Should we never do this again?
Let's get into episode 7.
Episode 7 is Driftmark.
All right, so we'll be back in a minute.
Cosmic Wars, Episode 7.
Episode 7, Driftmark. Boy, again, one of the episodes where we could do a big breakdown, but we're limited on time. A lot goes on. So we have, I did like the fact that Viserys, he's still, they're falling apart, but has a little heart-to-heart with his brother. He just says, put old grudges behind us, put the years behind us, brother, I need you at my side, right?
Come home.
Yeah, and of course, Rhaenyra, unlike when she was younger, she finally gets to sleep with her uncle, and I'm like, yeah, finally it's cool to get to see an uncle and his niece have sex. It's a great, beautiful scene. Basically, so was the kid Aemond? Is that it?
Aemon.
He gets his Daemon's dead ex-wife's dragon.
Daemon's deceased wife's dragon, which is actually his cousin.
But also the fact that he's a kid, but man, this dragon is fucking huge. Wow. Oh my god, man. And
Vhagar is the oldest living dragon at this point.
And Aemon is, because he's still jaded because at this point they played the prank on him with the whole pig situation. Kids as kids do, they fight, but at one point picks up a rock and is about to beat the shit out of or kill one of his cousins. One of his other cousins, slash him in the eye, and he loses friggin' half an eye, and like, oh shit.
They're not his cousins, they're his nephews.
Oh, I can't keep track. But yeah, a bunch of kids get into a fight and one kid gets injured. And we have...
Well, technically, they all get injured in their own way.
Yeah.
His is just the worst. Because he breaks... Luke, who is the younger boy, he breaks his nose.
Mm-hmm.
He goes to bash in Jace, the older boy, goes to bash in his head. He punches both girls in the face. Both the Daemon's daughters.
Yeah.
Like, he's kicking their ass.
Damn kids.
And, like, he almost kills Jace in the process. Yeah. So, yes, he loses an eye, but...
He gains, like, the biggest dragon of all time.
Well, not even just that. Yeah. But him losing his eye stops him from killing his 2 nephews and his 2 cousins.
Yeah. And we get a pretty good scene with, finally for the first time, I guess in public, we get to see Viserys because he doesn't want it. Well, Aemon is his son, and Alicent is pretty pissed off that her kid got injured. She wants an eye for an eye. I mean, cliche what it is. And of course, Rhaenyra's like, you're not going to take one of my kid's eyes, you dumb bitch. And right there we get to a big struggle. Friggin' Alicent pulls out the dagger, the dagger later on for Game of Thrones season 8. But she starts struggling with Rhaenyra, and I did like the fact that Rhaenyra, she goes back and friggin' Alicent right in public, she friggin' hits Rhaenyra and fucking slices her down to her forearm and like, hey, look, the queen just attacked the princess and actually cut her arm wide open. You're like, yo, oh shit. And Rhaenyra's finally had it with the bullshit. She wants to marry her uncle, make it official. Problem is, Rhaenyra already has a husband. So what do? They do some misdirection, and Corlys bait and switch, yes. Corlys, they faked the death of his son Laenor. At the end, we see Laenor. He's got a shaved head. They don't kill him because she actually does care about him. She actually does care about Laenor in her own way. It's like, not his fault that he's gay. He's not into women. To make her marriage to Daemon official, they have to kill her husband.
So
right?
Technically, Rhaenyra actually has 2 husbands.
Yeah.
But the thing is no one knows that. Because Laenor's dead.
Well, again, another episode where, like, in terms of action, no big battles, no big action sequences. But at the end of the day, I just take it as the 2 big plot points of the episode. Kid gets a dragon, and then Rhaenyra finally gets to bang her husband, or bang her, now her husband/uncle.
So sexy.
Yeah, quick recap, and we're getting to episode 8. We're moving along, guys. 2 more episodes, or
3 more episodes.
Yeah, I'm losing track. Yeah,
but we got this. We're almost through.
All right, we'll get into episode 8, and you all set?
The Lord of the Tides.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
All right, next episode.
Okay, we're back, episode 8, which is called The Lord of the Tides, and for me, my favorite episode of the entire season and series of House of the Dragon. Why? Because Paddy Constantine or Constantine should have got every award that was owed to him.
Oh yeah.
There's one scene, and there's one scene where you have an old man and kudos to him. We know it's acting, but still, him walking to the Iron Throne, it's just watching it. I'm damn sure tearing up. Like, it's so sad.
Like, at this point, the man's lost his arm. He's lost an eye. He's lost part of his cheek. He has all these sores around his back.
Yeah.
He's basically dying of leprosy.
Yeah. Well, also, yet again, another fucking time jump. What, 6 years?
6 years.
A 6-year time jump, and now finally, Damon and his niece, they have some kids.
They have 2 sons.
Yep. So they're getting busy.
They have their older son Aegon and their younger son Viserys.
Yeah. So they want their dad to see their kids, well, his grandkids before he dies. And of course now it's like he's even worse. It's like some CG you can kind of tell, but his teeth are missing. He's very, very thin. One of his eyes are missing. He's on his fucking deathbed. We have Corlys's brother.
His brother Vaemon is trying to say Luke should not rule as the Lord of Driftmark. Technically he's right. Yeah, because Luke is the son of Sir Harwin Strong, not the son of Sir Laenor Velaryon.
Well, it came down to, so basically, Corlys's brother's pissed off the fact that Rhaenyra, I know, in the fact that it's a very powerful scene during this throne sequence where he's like, her kids are not my blood. They're not Valerians. These kids are fucking bastards. And as soon as he says the word bastards, he calls Rhaenyra a whore, Daemon has no problem cutting his fucking head off.
Well, shit. It's funny because Viserys says flat out, he's like, bring me his tongue. But Daemon chops his head off and he's like, he can keep his tongue. Rhaenyra, the day prior, had offered an alliance with Princess Rhaenys, the queen who never was, of betrothing the children to each other. Betrothing Baela to Jace and betrothing Rhaena to Luke.
Basically, their kids marrying their kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, with that being said, Laena's daughters would marry Laenor's sons. But the thing is, Jace would ascend to the Iron Throne. Luke is supposed to be the one ascending Driftmark. Therefore, Rhaena would be his lady wife.
Sure.
Boy, am I lost.
That being said, though, it would still be Corlys's line taking over Driftmark, just not through the male line, through the female line.
Yeah. Well, it was kind of cool seeing Corlys's brother say, everyone fucking knows the fact that, like, Viserys, your grandkids, they're bastards, we all know it. We get to see this excellent dinner sequence, and of course, Viserys pulls off his mask, and you see his eyes missing, and he wants to see his
cheek.
Yeah, I mean, he just said he's dying, he's thin, he's sickly looking. He wants to see his entire family for his last dinner because he knows at this point he's not going to live much longer. He wants to see his whole family get along. We do get some fucking shade by Aegon. Aegon sipping some drinks. He's like, yeah, give a toast to these strong.
Amen.
Oh, amen. But he's like, it's funny how he says the word strong. He's like, yeah, all my nephews are strong. They're very handsome and they're very strong. And it's like, the way he's constantly like, saying the word strong.
But the funny thing is the boys go to attack them.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, like, Jace punches him. Yeah. Aegon takes Luke's head and bashes it into the table. Then the guards take Jace and Luke and they're holding them back from attacking the others.
Yeah.
And then Daemon and Rhaenyra get up and they get in the way. Rhaenyra at this point is also pregnant with her 6th child.
Dear God. They're rabbits.
And so Daemon walks over, he looks at the boys, he's like, stop, just stop. And Jace and Luke. Yeah. Rhaenyra's like, go to bed. And Daemon just turns around, looks Aemon right in his one eye, and is like, bring it, bitch.
Sit down, son. Yeah, and at the end we get to see, so finally the goodbye. So, after eight whole episodes, Paddy Constantine, man, Viserys, he's dying, he's on deathbed, he's talking to his wife, but he, in his mind though, he's so decrepit and so fucked up, he thinks he's talking to his daughter. But he does say, he does mention things like, a song of ice and fire, like, hey, Game of Thrones.
Prince that was promised.
He is what they call a dreamer, and he does see the future events of, later seasons of Game of Thrones. Yes, Game of Thrones, seasons 5 through 8 are questionable, but, he is seeing the future, what's going to happen.
And one thing, too, is on his deathbed, there's one constant thing with his character throughout the series. From the very first episode all the way up to episode 8, he never loved Alicent.
No, he really misses, what's her name, Elena?
Emma.
Okay, yeah, he missed Emma. He loved his first wife, but, Alicent's just there she's there for a side piece.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, Paddy Constantine, initially, you really had a very big love for Daemon, but watching this again, this is my 3rd time watching this with you, boy, Paddy Constantine, man, just especially this episode, what a fucking great performance. And some ways, man, I wound up loving Viserys almost more than Daemon. Viserys, what a great character, man.
Very true. Last words out of his mouth, my love. Because on his deathbed, he believes he's talking to Emma.
He's a legend!
2 more to go, and then we're done.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, we'll see you later. And
Up next is the Green Council.
Yeah.
This episode has no Daemon, no Rhaenyra, and no one of the Dragonstone Targaryens.
Well, let's find out what happens after. Now the king is dead. What happens next? All right, we'll find out.
Episode 9, scratch it.
Okay, episode 9 of the Green Council. I'll try to finish this off. I've drinking so far all this shit right here.
Yeah, he has.
But, yeah, so this is the one episode we don't have Daemon or Rhaenyra, right?
No Daemon, no Rhaenyra, none of their kids.
This is all the aftermath of King Viserys. So the king's finally dead. And just another one of these political episodes where we have Alicent. She's trying to make ties with, what's her name? The cousin?
Rhaenys.
Rhaenys, yes. Rhaenys, and she wants to basically marry the bloodlines. Is that it?
No, she does not want to marry the bloodlines. She can't really marry the bloodlines.
Okay.
Rhaenys' granddaughters are betrothed to Rhaenyra's sons.
Okay, sure.
And Rhaenys, technically, she does have a dog in the fight. Her granddaughters are betrothed to the boys.
Yep.
Technically speaking, the boys, even though they are not biologically her grandsons, they are technically her grandsons. Because she's never openly denied them as being her grandsons.
The episode, it's not like a very complicated episode, I would say. It just comes down to, lines is being forged, and at the end you feel bad for the citizens because, what's her face, she pulls out her dragon, and a big massive explosion, a whole shitload of people get killed.
Yeah. But, shit happens.
Yeah. Right there, I wanted to ask you, watching this again, when the dragon's looking at these people, she could wipe out Viserys' whole bloodline in like one fell swoop. She could say Dracarys.
Well, technically not Viserys' whole bloodline. It's Alicent's whole bloodline.
True, yeah. But she could, at this point, she could kill all these people right here, but she chooses not to.
So she chooses not to due to the fact that, one, she is not fully on Rhaenyra's side yet. Like, she still has her beef with Rhaenyra, but at the same point, both of her granddaughters are on Dragonstone with their father and their stepmom. All three of the boys are on Dragonstone, and even though they are not legitimately her grandsons, she still has never openly denied them as her grandchildren. And so all 5 of her grandchildren are on Dragonstone. So she has to get away, but that doesn't mean she's like all on Rhaenyra's side quite yet. Whereas Alicent, she knows Alicent's doing wrong. She knows Alicent is in the wrong to some degree. Yeah. Despite the fact that Aegon is the firstborn male child of Viserys, Rhaenyra is his heir. He never denied Rhaenyra as his heir. He always wanted the line to pass through Rhaenyra. It did not matter who her husband was. It just happened that she married Laenor Velaryon.
Even though tradition has it as Aegon being the heir, legally, Rhaenyra still is heir. This is why her cousin,
Queen Who Never Was, Rhaenys.
Rhaenys is pissed off. I guess you would say usurping the throne?
That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
So the whole point of it is Rhaenys is the Queen Who Never Was because she lost at the Great Council of 101 to Viserys. Of all the major claimants, the only 2 that were ever taken truly into account were Viserys and Rhaenys.
Yeah.
Rhaenys had her supporters, but a lot of what they tried to do was put it through Laenor.
Yeah.
And his line, more so than through Viserys. Through Rhaenys.
Yeah.
If they had gone with Rhaenys in general, being the fact that she technically was the heir to the Iron Throne, but no one wanted a queen. They chose a king. But the thing of it is, they did a council constituting Viserys over Rhaenys. They didn't do that with Aegon and Rhaenyra. Viserys said flat out, Rhaenyra is my heir. Rhaenyra is always going to be my heir. Yeah. I'm never switching my heir from her to Aegon. You can beg and plead and try and scheme and do whatever you want, but Rhaenyra is my heir. And that's always what he's done.
All right, so it's one more episode. So the final finale of House of Dragon, season 1, and what's season 10, episode 10 called? It's called The Black Queen. It says Black Queen.
Black Queen. Okay.
Yeah.
You're wrong. You're wrong.
Yeah, guys, we'll see you when this is hopefully I'll finish my vodka, and it's been a long fucking 10 hours, but it's been fun. I've not been bored. It's a lot of recap and a lot of stuff to talk about, and one more to go. We'll see how the finale of House of Dragon is.
Yep.
All right, cool.
I can't believe it's finally over.
All right, good. So the finale, it's called The Black Queen.
Yep.
boy, a lot of stuff with Damon and Rhaenyra, but Rhaenyra, she's about to give birth yet again, and she gives birth to a stillborn, right?
A stillborn daughter. Her
Yeah.
first daughter and her sixth child.
Yeah, and so her and Damon's third kid? I can't
Her
keep track.
and Damon's third kid.
This woman's like a damn rabbit. Like, just stop fucking pumping out so many kids. The whole, I guess, basic plot is that, okay, so even though Alicent was King Viserys' wife and his firstborn son, in theory, to most people, should be the king, the bottom line is his heir is Rhaenyra.
Yeah.
And Rhaenyra should be the queen. And now this is where the whole war begins. And her cousin,
Rhaenys.
she's siding with her, and Corlys pops back up. Corlys is going to basically pledge allegiance to Rhaenyra with his fleet. And that's the whole premise of this episode. And then we have one of her sons, what's his name?
Her son, Luke.
Yeah.
Lucerys.
He goes to be an envoy and just a messenger. But, guess what? Then his cousin pops up with the one eye. And,
Uncle.
Yep, his uncle. Yeah. He has a big-ass dragon. And he's like, you know what, boy? You still owe me an eye for an eye. But, he runs away with his smaller dragon. We have a big chase sequence in the rain between two dragons. And the big dragon eats the little dragon. He kills his nephew.
He kills Luke.
And,
but here's the effed up part.
Yeah.
They both lost control of their dragons. Due to the fact that, one, it's raining. They are on fire-breathing creatures. These creatures do not do well in the rain. First and foremost. And with how big Vhagar is, Aemon really never gained the full control of her the way he was supposed to. Arax being a young dragon, Luke has not had as much time controlling him as his mother or his uncle have controlling their dragons. Meaning Daemon, not Aemon.
Yeah. Bottom line is dragons are fucking unpredictable, especially when they're like, 400 feet long and shit. So
there is a moment though where Luke does kind of get away. He goes through like this tunnel system.
Yeah.
Trying to get out of Storm's End, and because of how small Arax is in comparison to Vhagar, you think he'll be safe. But then out of nowhere, he loses control of Arax. Arax shoots fire at Vhagar. And you hear him telling him, like, Arax, obey me, Arax.
He's like, no.
And then you hear Aemon at the same time, obey me, Vhagar, obey me. And just out of nowhere, he comes at him, and he's saying, no, 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 as Vhagar jumps down on Arax.
Queen Rhaenyra, technically speaking, she is the queen, and now she's crying. Her son just got fucking murdered, and now for season 2, we get to war. War, and now we're pissed off because now
it's the dance of the dragons.
Now it's fucking on, boys and girls. So
we're in the end game now.
Yeah. But this is actually my third time, probably your 15th time watching the show.
Something along those lines.
But my third time watching this show, and I had a fantastic time. And it was, when it came out, a lot of people weren't sure how to take Game of Thrones, House of Dragon, a prequel, because Game of Thrones
ended on a very bad note.
Season 7 to 8, especially season 8, pissed a lot of people off. But this show came out,
especially the last 4 episodes.
Yeah. This show came out, and every week kept getting pretty bigger and bigger, and a lot of people liked it. And I do feel like, and I would ask you as a book fan, a book nerd, after watching, again with me, this entire 10 episodes and being a book nerd, like, do you think that House of Dragon is a good adaptation?
I honestly do, because of the fact that, like I said, the book that it's derived from is actually a telling of history.
Yeah.
It's not so much a telling of, it's not so much like you're in it watching like a full story and reading a full story. You're basically sitting there going, hey, Viserys ascends the throne, and he's married to his cousin Emma. They have a daughter, her name's Rhaenyra. Then Emma dies, then he marries Alicent Hightower. Yep. Then they have a son, then they have a daughter, then they have another son, then they have another son. Then Rhaenyra marries her cousin.
Yeah.
It's said that he's gay. People think she's cheating on him. Here's a kid, here's another kid, and here's another kid.
All right, this is goddamn ridiculous.
They don't look like their father, but here's this whole thing. So it's not so much the fact of, it's not storytelling, it's fact checking more so than anything. So anything that they do, as long as like they stick to what those histories say, which even that, it's like our own history. History's written by the victors. There's no saying how much of what's being written in the history is true.
Finally, it's over.
I'm glad we had a nice 10-hour marathon, and very few shows I can ever say that I sat down and watched an entire season with you or anybody. I have high hopes going into season 2 because, I mean, hey, war's coming, guys. And instead of winter's coming, war is coming. And I'm curious to see what happens because at this point, there's still like 25 dragons out there or something.
So Rhaenyra has about 13 dragons, whereas that's the black faction. Whereas Aegon's faction, the green faction, they have at best 4.
The what? They're fucked.
And technically, they don't even include the younger brother at all in the first season.
Yeah.
But he's there.
I will edit this as fast as possible. It was a great time watching this, and not much more we can say. We'll check out season 2, but yeah, I finished almost. It's a little bits left, but almost a fucking third fucking bottle of vodka, and you finished your wine.
I finished my own wine a long time ago.
You got some gay wine right there to shut her home. Wine. Let's see what we got right here. This stuff.
Yeah,
it's woman's drink.
I wound up finishing that off too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You drunk bitch!
And we had a drunken good time, and yeah, you all set?
I'm good.
All right, well, we'll see you for season 2.
All right, guys,
Right.
and don't forget.
What?
Let's have a drink.
Oh God, yeah. Oh yeah. So here it's Tyrion says, "I drink and I know things." You can't see because of this is cranberry juice and Sprite and vodka. So
And mine literally says "not today."
Nice and gay wine. But all right, we're out of here.
We both loved it.